All right, welcome back. My name is Jay Cutton from Fitness Culture. We're doing day 4 in the Drive program. So the Drive program is a bench program that we released about 12 weeks ago. Again, this is day 4, so if you haven't watched days 1 through 3, you can cycle back and watch those. But we're building this so that you can kind of just follow along. So there's a link in the description if you want to download it and follow along with the workouts. But that's what we're building this for. You can download the entire week, use these videos as kind of like exercise demos explaining the workouts so you can follow along with the workouts. So today's gonna be, we're gonna start off with some core stuff. We've already warmed up. We're gonna start off with some core, and it's gonna be a dynamic effort lower body day. And this is week 1, so it's gonna be lower volume just to kind of get people into it. As we progress throughout the program, the volume's gonna get a little bit higher on these days as well. But we're gonna start off with just some core again, and then we'll get into some speed back squats, things like that for today. All right guys, the core work we have today, we're gonna be 3 movements, so it's a triset, and the goal is to not take a ton of rest in between. We're gonna use this as an extension of our warm-up. So we're gonna be doing a weighted plank, so we'll show you how to do those, a Russian twist, and then we're gonna be doing 10 strict toes to bar. Again, that's just 3 rounds straight through, minimal rest today. All right guys, first thing, we got 20 Russian twists. So on these, the biggest thing, we wanna make sure we're not just going like this. You will get some work in your core if you do that too, but we try to turn in your, so stay static here in your core, and then turn in your thoracic spine a little bit. Just like that, just take your time, back and forth. You're gonna get a lot better work on this. Again, it's gonna work the rotation in your upper back a little bit, and you're gonna feel it more in your core if you do it this way. All right, the next thing we got, we're gonna be doing a 1-minute weighted plank. If this is too challenging, you can just start off with a plank. Just make sure that you're squeezing your glutes and keeping your core nice and tight. But what I'm gonna do today is try to put, when we do these weighted planks, sometimes people will make the mistake of putting it on your upper back. That's not really gonna challenge your core. So I'm gonna try to put the circle of the plate just right on my belt line, and then just hold that for a minute in a good plank position. All right, the next movement we got, we're gonna be doing 10 just strict toes to bar. So on these, I try to think about just staying long, squeeze feet together, point the toes. Obviously flexibility is gonna come into play. If they're way too hard, you can just go knee up, but really try to focus on controlling the eccentric and not just falling down like that today, because you're not gonna get a lot of good core work that way. So control it up, control it all the way down. Okay, so first leg superset we have today, we're gonna be doing a speed back squat. So all the way down, explode up. Again, it's kind of like the speed bench that we did yesterday. We don't want any sticking points throughout this movement, all right? So we'll start right around 30% and just work our way up today. And then we're gonna be supersetting that with the plyometric. So we'll go straight from 3 reps into a broomstick jump. So you guys will see that when I demo it, but I'm just gonna put a PVC pipe on my back, just into a full squat, and then jump up as high as I can for 5 jumps. Rest 60 to 90 seconds, so not a ton of rest, and then we're just gonna be right back at it today. So like I've mentioned in the past, this day is more to kind of just move fast. Number 1, obviously we're gonna get some benefit out of that. There's gonna be some strength benefits there, but then also it's just a good way to flush the legs today. So if you're feeling beat up coming into this workout, I would just stay light and just try to move as fast as you can, and not really, we don't want to damage any more muscle tissue. So no grinding reps today, all about speed. All right guys, for the speed squats, I just kind of wanted to go over how we're gonna be doing it today. So you're gonna control it all the way to the bottom. So we'll control down. We're gonna pause for 1 at the bottom, and then just explode up as fast as possible. And that's exactly how it's gonna be. Just the biggest thing I wanted to make is we're gonna go ass to grass, pause, and then explode back up. So you wanna come from that dead stop position out of the bottom. Pause, just like that. All right, the next thing we got today, we're gonna be doing some single leg stuff. So we're gonna do, so every week we're gonna progress to something more difficult in this program. The first one's a pretty easy variation. It's gonna be, I'm using kettlebells or dumbbells, whatever you want. We're just gonna do a reverse lunge from a podium, just to get nice and deep, and then explode up. So this should be for speed today. Again, No sticking points. Should be very explosive movement. It's gonna look something like this. Control it down. So make sure that you're not pulling one of these two. This is kind of the most common mistake when people are doing this movement, is they're not exploding all the way up until their hip gets extended. They kind of do one of these speed reps here, where they come down and then stand up like that. So it's essentially just a step forward with a squat. You really want to make sure you can push off with the back leg. You want to make sure that front hip gets all the way extended before you bring your feet back together on this one. And then we're going to superset that with some lunge jumps or cycle jumps. So we're going to go 3 each leg. So it's just going to be as high as you can get. If you're doing a cycle jump, you're going to jump, cycle, and then land. And it's just going to be repetitive like that, right? So we'll be here, up, 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 just like that. If the cycle jump's too hard, you just start off with a lunge jump. So over here, no cycle, just let your feet float and set up for the next rep. So as you can see, let's get your heart rate up too. So it's another reason that I like doing these. And that's why we go at a quick pace, because again, gets us a little cardio, heart rate gets up, we're moving fast. We're gonna go 4 sets, 3 each leg, and then 3 each leg on the jumps too. Rest 60 to 90, and we're gonna roll through that 4 times. All right, the last thing we have today is gonna be a little bit of prehab work just for our lower body. It's basically gonna flush some blood into our glutes, our hips, our lower back. I like doing these on these days just because we are going so light. It is more of a recovery day for me, and so I finish with a little bit of a recovery circuit. So we're gonna do some band resisted good mornings. So we're just gonna stand on a band, put it around our shoulders here, crack the knees once, back stay straight, and we're just gonna push our hips back until you get to your in range of motion. That could be different for everybody. If you're really mobile, I mean, you could be pointed down towards the floor. If you're not very mobile, you might just crack to here and then come back up. Just make sure you're keeping that back straight. Really just trying to get a good stretch in the hamstrings, get some recovery there. The next thing, we're gonna put a band around our legs and just do some lateral monster walks. So when I do those, try to keep a wider stance, and I just take a small step. So there's gonna be tension the entire time on our glutes. Sitting down in an athletic position right here. So instead of going like that, I like to stay in tight the whole time and just be in right here. So we'll take 10 steps down and back. And then the last thing today, we're gonna do some barbell hip extensions, and I'm just gonna go super light. So it's gonna be an isodynamic barbell hip extension. So we'll start with a 20 count pause at the top, squeezing the glutes all the way up, and then just do 10 reps, and that'll be 1 set. So isometric hold, some dynamic reps. So they're called isodynamic reps. So we'll hit all 3 as a triset, rest for about 60 seconds, and we're gonna go through that 3 times. All right, so that wraps it up for today, guys. Quick lift, like I said, let's see what it would take. So I would say from warm up to finish, without the filming, it's probably about a 45-minute lift, as long as you just stay on the clock and get through it really quickly. So it's a quick one, like I said, flush the legs, get a little bit of core work, and then get out and get ready for tomorrow's session. So tomorrow is going to be day 5. That's gonna be a very high volume muscular endurance upper body day. So get prepared for that. I hope you guys like this content. I hope it's providing you some value. I appreciate you tuning in. If you have any feedback for me, just go ahead and leave it in the comments. Anything you guys want me to cover next or anything I can do better. And if you like it, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow.